South Africa's SMME sector have been through a lot in the last 20 years. This is not to say that there have not been some notable changes in the sector. Let's take from the perspective of small business contribution to industry turnover. One of the significant change that has been highlighted according to Stat SA report of 2019 is that formal SMMEs expanded its contribution to total turnover in trade, transport, manufacturing, and utility industries. The value of this contribution has been fluctuating for a long time, increasing from 24% in the first quarter of 2009 to about 32% in the third quarter of 2017. And then lately, it has declined to about 29% in the first quarter of 2019. Worthy of note is their contribution to transport sector. About 21% increase was recorded in the first quarter of 2019, and this is a huge rise from the 14% increase that was recorded in the first quarter of 2015. For me, I would say this is a significant achievement and it should be recorded for them. Because in the past few years, they've been faced with various challenges that limited their performances. We see several situations where most of these very small and micro enterprises they are unable to survive the nascent stage. Digital transformation has played and is still playing major roles in assisting SMMEs. It has helped them to reach a wider audience, like I said. I would say the first major role is the role of visibility. I mean, this is reflected in the use of social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You know, just to mention a few, the impact of this role was evident in the onset of COVID-19 and the simultaneous ad lockdown, which prompted small business owners, very few of them though, because most of them couldn't survive the rude shock of the lockdown. It prompted the SMMEs to find new ways to adapt and change how they conduct business, like what to sell and how to sell. At some point, it was more of what to sell because only essential commodities were allowed for sale. So most of these small business survivors were those that looked to digital tools for salvation. We, the Johannesburg Business School, carried out a bibliometric systematic literature review, and this was done on the global trend of the digital transformation of SMEs. And our results showed that SMMEs in South Africa are slowly embracing the adoption of digital technologies into their business models, although not as fast as what is obtainable globally, especially using the OECD countries as a yardstick. The result shows that SMMEs tend to digitalize general administration or marketing functions first. Business surveys on ICT use show that the digital gap is smaller between SMMEs and large firms in their online interactions with the government, in electronic invoicing, or in using social media, or even selling online. This gap, however, increased when technologies became more sophisticated. Recommendations from research findings showed that enabling SMMEs digitalization should become a top policy priority for South Africa. Issues related to digital security, online platform, blockchain ecosystems, and artificial intelligence should also be prioritized. In addition, risk of not going digital and barriers to adoption should also be investigated and solutions should be proffered. Also, concrete policy actions are being taken globally to speed the SME transformation. So I would say that the state should develop an outline of location-specific policy solutions to advance the SMME's digital policy agenda. I say location-specific policy solution because not everything that is adopted in countries with developed economies will work for us because we have a culture here in South Africa. The SMME sector that have more rapidly adopted digitalization, especially driven by the COVID-19 pandemic, includes the use of artificial intelligence for medical diagnosis, Internet of Things for consumer goods, and mobile applications for financial transactions, transportations, and utility vending. Examples are the Checker 6060, the Uber Eats, and the likes of them. Other important technologies include digital learning platforms used by schools, augmented and virtual reality in teaching and learning, as well as entertainment and 3D printing for medical use. Now, they may not have met the global standards, but the rate of adoption is really remarkable, and this implies that they can compete globally in a few years' time. South African SMMEs can better implement and benefit from 4IR in a globalized economy by doing the following. 1, businesses must be open to external collaborations with global players with good track record of successfully implementing digital solutions. Business owners must create enabling atmosphere for upskilling of employees to expand their capability in utilizing digital solutions specific to their businesses. And number 3, SMMEs can also cooperate with public sector to facilitate the creation of policies that will enhance their adoption of digitalization. Some of the readily available advantages of global digital trends that local businesses can use to better their operation are shorter production time in the case of production industry. Digitalization of business processes shortens the turnaround time for the completion of sales. Also, it gives better access to financing from financial institutions. This can be achieved if businesses can embrace cloud computing. Another way is increase in sales. Increased sales through more intensive marketing achieved by the use of social media. Barriers to trade can also be eliminated by using smart contracts housed on blockchain. This contract covers invoicing, bill payments, interest payments, and inventory.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.